Introducing the new party. We live stream every Tuesday and Thursday p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
For service members under the UCMJ?
Senator, those
Yes
are
or no?
multiple false anonymous reports peddled by NBC
Do you
News
know
that
that
run directly
drinking on the job
contradictory to
is
the dozens of men and women at
not
Fox News
contemplated
Channel
I'm
who
not
I work
hearing-
with
I'm
who
not
came
hearing
on
the
the
answer to my
record
question.
and said they've
In your
never
opening
seen
statement,
that.
Mr. Hicks says, do you know that being drunk at
You
work
so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? How is that a complete clear? Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old. And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you? Those were false charges. Well, no, fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I completely.
Words, you're quite sure that every general who serves should not go directly into the defense industry for 10 years. You're not willing to make that same pledge?
I'm not a general, Senator.
You'll be the one, let us just be clear, in charge of the generals. In other words,
Defense, will you support women continuing to have the opportunity to serve in combat roles?
Senator, first of all, thank you for your service, as we discussed extensively as well.
It's my privilege.
And my answer is yes, exactly the way that you caveated it. Yes, women will have access to ground combat roles, combat rows, given the standards remain high, and we'll have a review to ensure the standards have not been eroded in any one of these cases. That'll be part of one of the first things we do at the Pentagon is reviewing that in a gender-neutral way, the standards, ensuring readiness and meritocracy is front and center. But absolutely, it would be the privilege of a lifetime to, if confirmed, to be the Secretary of Defense for all men and women in uniform who fight so heroic. They have so many other options. They decide to put their right hand up for our country, and it would be an honor to have a chance to lead them.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
Bogra, the Bogra Locker Room.
Jenna.
85 Slim.
I'm Jenna Morgan.
And I'm Brian.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jenna's back. So thank you to everyone that is on her network. We appreciate you. Please hit the like button on both sides. Hit the like button. We're also taking super chats on Jenna's side and on our side on the new party. But tonight is a very, very, very exciting night. It is a great pleasure and honor to welcome Brian Shapiro. Brian Shapiro, you guys may have seen him online. He also does FM radio in Las Vegas. So you can check out his website, pushingthelimits.live, where he streams on all networks. Brian, let everyone know about your show and also all the places that I didn't mention that you stream on.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for inviting me on. Been doing radio in Vegas for about 20 years. Been covering politics for about 10 years. On the Occupy Democrats network, they have 10 million subscribers on Facebook. The Washington Press Network, I'm on a local FM talk station here. In Vegas, YouTube is probably the best place to catch my show Monday through Friday. It's live 12 to 2. We get some great guests, anybody from Trump surrogates to Anthony Scaramucci to Dr. Jill Biden has done my show. I've interviewed Barack Obama. So Yeah, every day it's a different day with different guests. George Santos tomorrow. So, it's
Oh, I gotta check that out.
wide variety of guests. A lot of people call in, MAGA callers, Democrats, Republicans. So I like the mix of callers, and take about an hour of calls a day across the country and talk about a lot of serious issues. And sometimes it gets heated.
Who is your favorite guest ever?
Oh boy. About a year before Jerry Springer died, I had the opportunity to interview him. He's certainly up there. I love Anthony Scaramucci. He does my show all the time. I've had some great comedians do my show, everybody, across the spectrum. So it'd be hard if I said there was one favorite, but certainly interviewing a former president was an honor. And I guess every day is something new, but I certainly have my favorites for sure.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming.
Sure.
So the first clip that we played, guys, was about Pete Hegseth. Man, that has to be the hardest job interview ever. Gray, as the Democrat on the line, what's your thoughts of the confirmation hearing? Should we confirm him?
As a veteran and all the allegations around Pete Hegseth, I would say no. I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, I heard he was in the National Guard. I would think they have a more decorated general. I saw them make the joke in the clip you played where he said, I'm not a general, and everybody started laughing, but this person's leading the DOD. So I think they need a lot more military experience if they're going to be ahead of the military.
Jenna, do you feel the same way? What do you think about what he said about women?
Well, to me, I think he has a lot of actual military experience from the research I've done. I know, Gray, you were actually also in the military. I have not been. So when I see these awards and serving in certain places, I only can speak from a relatively unexperienced context. To me, I was watching bits of the hearing today, and I feel like some of the questions or the accusations get really personal. I don't know if I really need to know that he cheated on someone. I'm not sure that that's really going to be the deciding factor if I think he should be head of the Secretary of Defense. So that's my opinion. I think some of the questions are a little bit invasive, and I don't know how they really are relevant.
Vulgar.
If he can get the job done, put him in there. Like, all this stuff right now is allegations. There hasn't been anything, convictions or anything like that. And they're still running around trying to figure it out. So since y'all ain't figured it out and he's there, if he could do the job, put him in there.
Yeah, I agree with Boger.
So you're supporting him, 85.
I have to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really about qualification, background. If he can handle the position, I believe he should be confirmed. I don't believe whatever allegations are being said should stop him from getting that position.
All right, Brian. I feel like you got a lot to say. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Well, I don't know what qualifications he has other than serving. There are millions of people in the country that have served that would be better fit than him. He's a weekend anchor at Fox News who couldn't even get a daily show on Fox News. As far as allegations go, first of all, let's start with business. Okay, you're running a very large business. That's the way I look at it. The only business he ran it into the ground, and he was fired from that job. So he doesn't know how to run a business, let alone the business of working and working for the Secretary of Defense and being that guy. As far as allegations go, first of all, he said he didn't want women to serve just several months ago on a podcast. Okay, he didn't want women to serve on the battleground. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to be led to believe that he just changed his mind and he had a change of heart. Of course not. The only reason why he changed his mind is so he could get this position. And he was asked today in the hearings about, you think we should shoot protesters in the leg? That's what Donald Trump wanted people to do when he was president. And Hegseth pretty much went along with it. He's going to do and say whatever Donald Trump wants him to do and whatever Donald Trump wants him to say. And yeah, I do think when you're the second person in command and you have the nuclear codes, there's only two people, the president of the United States, and it would be Pete Hegseth if he gets the job. I think when you cheat on your first wife with someone you worked with, you cheat on your second wife and have a baby with a Fox News executive. You cheat on your third wife. You're alleged to have committed sexual assault. And you're alleged by your coworkers that you've showed up to work drunk. Yeah, I do think allegation after allegation does matter, and it doesn't have to be criminal to say to yourself, maybe this isn't the right guy for one of the most important jobs on the planet, let alone the United States of America. The way he's treated women his entire life is despicable. I think he's a despicable human being. And, you know, I don't think Donald Trump cares. He only picked this guy because he knows that Pete Hegseth will be loyal to him. That's all Donald Trump cares about. Again, millions of people have served. This is the guy that should be in this position. I think it's an absolute joke. It's a joke.
So who do you think should have been picked?
I think anybody that hasn't had allegations of rape, anybody that's served this country, that hasn't cheated on every woman he's ever been with, anybody who doesn't have allegations of being an alcoholic and showing up to work drunk, anybody that hasn't.
And can you name one specifically?
Sure. I would say Seth Moulton, who is a Purple Heart recipient. Anybody that has served this country honorably that doesn't have the baggage, Republican or Democrat, I don't care. Pick somebody in there that actually doesn't have the baggage that a Pete Hegseth had. Don't find somebody on Fox News that couldn't even get a Monday through Friday show on Fox News. That's a weekend, anchor at Fox News who's been wearing the Donald Trump knee pads for 8 years. Anybody that served this country honorably, that doesn't have the baggage. I mean, I can go through a list and
Do you not believe that people can repent and change? I mean, he's given his life over to Christ. Or do you think
anybody can say that? I do find it interesting that all of a sudden now that he's chosen to for this position, that all of a sudden now he's found Christ. Where was it a year ago? I find it a cop-out. Listen, if you find God or Christ and you become a religious person, that's great. I don't have a problem with that. But I do find it very interesting that when people are put into a corner and when they're asked about their behavior, all of a sudden they find Christ like they lost their keys and they found their keys. I think people that use their religion as an excuse for their horrible behavior, I think it's reprehensible. That's exactly what Pete Hegseth has done. I mean, look at the way his own mother, who I think knows him better than any of us, his own mom said that he abuses women, that he's a woman abuser. And the only reason why she apologized was recently after Donald Trump chose him for this position. I'm going to listen to Pete Hegseth's mom. I'm going to listen to people that worked with Pete Hegseth. I'm going to listen to people that have known Pete Hegseth best, like his mother. I don't want a woman abuser, according to his mom, to be second in command and knowing our nuclear codes. I just don't think he's qualified.
Did his father say anything?
I haven't heard one word from his dad. I have no idea. That's a good question, by the way. I haven't heard from his dad. We've heard from his mom, though.
And also, as far as him making the comments about him not wanting women to fight, what if he still has that, but because he realized that's something that's a concession he has to make, right?
Well, that's pretty awful if that's true. Think about that for a minute. There was a woman that was questioning him today, Congresswoman, who lost both of her legs in war. I don't care what's between your legs. If you're willing to risk your life for this country and you have the abilities necessary, which I think a lot of women do have, for him to make a statement like that, I don't believe he just, had a change of heart. That's that's how he feels about women.
Well, I think he still believes it because I don't think women should fight.
Right.
Actually, I think he still believes that, but he's making a concession for the position because people are saying we want women to fight. So he's like, okay, I'm not going to change that.
But that's not what he said. But that's not what he said today. Then he lied. If what you're saying is true, and it might be,
that's what
he lied.
Politicians do. They wrap it up and make it sound good.
Well, he's never been a politician. He's not an elected official, number one. And number two, if you are an elected official, I don't want you to lie. I understand what you're saying. There's a lot of people out there that do lie, like Donald Trump. And I'm not saying Democrats don't lie either. But there are millions of people that have served this country. Donald Trump picks this guy. There are millions of people that could have been attorney general. Donald Trump picks Matt Gaetz. I mean, it goes to show you, as long as you're loyal and you kiss the ring, he's going to try to get you into it. Now, I'm glad Matt Gaetz won't be our attorney general, but I actually think Pete Hegseth. I actually think Pete Hegseth's going to be put in this position, which I think is absurd. I think it's just laughable. But, it's unfortunate. Look at the way he's treated women his whole life. To me, that's enough for me to say, I don't want that guy in this position. I don't think Pete Hegseth should be flipping burgers at McDonald's, let alone being the Secretary of Defense when he already ran. Look at the company he ran when it came to veterans. Just look it up. He ran it into the ground. They had to fire him because he put them in massive debt. We're talking about, if you want to call it a company, about 1,000 times bigger. He doesn't know how to run a business.
They said he was drunk there, right? He was drunk.
Yeah. They said he showed people that worked with him at Fox News said that he showed up drunk to work. He had to be carried out of bars. These aren't anonymous sources. There are actual names in these reports. Now, we didn't get to see those names, but people in Congress did in the report. So these are not, he said all day today that these were anonymous, statements. No, they were not. These are actual people with names, including his mom, by the way, who's not anonymous.
For sure. No,
we don't really know the relationship between his mom and himself. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not
that's why I said,
what
did his father say?
Showed up drunk. I'm not for that. I'll comment on the women stuff though, because number one, I'm not saying it's good, but a lot of men cheat. And also he was alleged sexual assault. It didn't say rape. It said alleged for sexual assault. And I just want to be very careful with those words because that could mean grope. It could mean several things, but
why did he pay her off? Why did he pay her off? Why? I didn't say he was convicted.
Just to get rid of it.
Sometimes these people do this to try to slander their names.
So he gave her an NDA so she can't talk about it. And in regard to the cheating, I hear what you're saying. There are a lot of men that cheat. Okay. But there are not a lot of men that will cheat on 3 different wives and will have a baby with a coworker while married to his second wife. So I agree with you. Sadly, there are a lot of cheaters out there, but look at this guy's history. And I don't know about you guys. My mom has called me names before, but she's never accused me of abusing women. You know why? Because I've never abused women in my life. She put out an actual email, and then they made her do a charade interview on Fox News. By the way, she didn't deny any of the things she said. She just claimed that he was a different man now. So I just think it goes to show you a lack of, at a minimum, horrendous judgment to a guy that could have our nuclear codes. Whether he did criminal stuff or not is one thing. Okay. But he didn't want that woman to talk. She should have been allowed to testify under oath of what she claims happened. He paid her off in an NDA so she couldn't even speak to it. And I just think that's a big problem, guys.
Well, moving off of this, let's take one final thought or vote. Volger, is he going to get confirmed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Gray.
Republicans are going to fall in line. Yes.
85.
I agree with Gray. We're going to fall in line, make the country great again.
Yes.
Yeah. Brian, I know you don't want him to, but do you think he's going to get confirmed?
The only answer is yes, is because they're afraid of Cheeto Jesus. That's the only reason.
Not Cheeto Jesus.
That's the only reason.
No.
That's the only reason.
Will be. Yes, I think that will be the outcome.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to switch gears here. We're going to go into our main topics of the night because this was like a last minute thing I added on. Well, today, the other big news was I think we are a step closer to a deal with Israel and Hamas, a ceasefire. Let's watch the clip and then we'll give comments.